If you could give a tip to somebody about how to like correctly light spar, what is that?
I can still throw at 100% speed, but only touch like the first layer of skin, not follow through. So that's what I'm looking for. And why that's important, not just for safety, but like to control pace. Lomachenko's a great example of someone who like will like touch, or the Diaz brothers will touch. And then when they see the opening, that's when they put steam on it. Connor's an example of the opposite. I feel like everything he throws is at 100%, but he gasses out because of it. I like the idea of being able to change the tempo up.
And seeing you guys spar with each other was like, yo, what is going on?
I didn't know Ross was gonna come at me like,
bro, for Ross came at you, dog.
how did he spiked my heart rate quick?
Yeah, I'm like, dude, you look like, hey man, are we done?
Yeah,
Well,
you
like-
proved your point. Could whoop my head. Everybody knows it now. Now I gotta post it to my channel.
Welcome back to the Casuals MMA. We are a combat sports and MMA show hosted by very, very casual fans. My name is Gilbert. That's Nick. And como se dice sexy mama over there, that's David So, who just came in because he fell asleep because he's got a baby.
Desperate Korean housewife, dude. That's the look right now. Oh my God.
Legs exposed, almost out, facing our guests.
This is the original look, dude.
Yeah, this is what started the show.
This was really what got the show going.
This is how we got the first couple subscribers.
Is because of these thighs.
Going back to our roots.
We have a special guest here today. Not only do we have like a combat sports striking YouTuber influencer, we have an OG YouTuber in general.
Yeah.
I think started in 2008. Also striking coach, also one of the best in the biz to do it. Give it up for Fight Tips, aka Shane Fazen.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Legend.
Everybody's first online coach.
For real.
Yep.
Even Joaquin Buckley, apparently.
No, is that for real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You taught him how to speak on the mic?
He said
That's crazy, Shane.
the only person ever dropped my name on Rogan.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you've technically been on Rogan.
And also Jalen Turner too.
Jalen
Oh,
Turner.
yeah.
Wow, Shane has a voice for the black athletes.
I know,
Like
dude. All the white people are like,
Yeah,
I don't know about
we're
that.
good. We have Greg Jackson. Anyway, hey,
does
Shane,
look
hey, Shane. Shane's like, I have no
What
part
did
of
I
this.
sign up for?
Shane, I don't think a lot of people know this, but let's go back to the beginning. I want to start there really quick. Why are you in martial arts? In what martial arts did you participate in? Karate Japanese or Korean Taekwondo?
Those are the only two
Those are
options.
the only two options I'm going to give you.
Taekwondo.
In your fucking face, Japanese people. Let's start with that, huh?
The better art.
How old were you? And how did you jump into that? Was it a movie that got you in? Or?
I was 9 years old. My dad was a Philly cop. I was starting to like hang out with friends and in the streets of Philadelphia, and he's like, "No way, you got to pick up a sport or do something."
Yeah.
And I tried like hockey and soccer and drawing. And
That's not a sport, brother.
Protect yourself. Got you, Dad.
God, put this kid in something.
Hold still. I got my canvas out.
Oh, my son's gonna get bullied. God damn it.
yeah, so he was a black belt in Taekwondo, so I ended up training under the same master that he trained under, and did that for a couple of years, and then wanted to get into like full contact, so then I got into Muay Thai.
How was your like Taekwondo instructional at the time? Because I know like it changed so much. When I took Taekwondo when I was younger to what it is now, it's like vastly different. Right, so because like the place that I went to disappeared after like 6 years because he was so mean.
Yeah.
He didn't give people belts, so he didn't do the you pay, get a belt,
And he just that was it.
and then his
went out of
place
business.
disappeared.
Yeah.
Everybody else was just giving kids
Like
belts.
the karate schools are wild.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense, right? Like, and people knock belt systems now. Like, especially if we talk about it in Muay Thai, but also the ones who do use a belt system in Muay Thai, their business is usually thriving.
They stick around.
Yeah. So it was very strict on like discipline at my place. I don't think it was like super like physically hard. We did tournaments and stuff. We would spar a lot, but I think they adjusted with the times too, to where it was a little bit more like, bring your kids in, you'll get a guaranteed black belt in 4 months. No, not like that.
There were places like that though.
Yeah, they would advertise it like in the windows.
I remember just like going by like Robinson's Taekwondo, and I'm like, I want to go there.
Robinson's?
Yeah.
So they're having fun.
There's this guy. It was this chain called Robinson's Taekwondo. He was made a lot of money because he would do the belt system that would just give it to everybody. And I remember as a kid, like there was other kids in school. They're like, I'm a black belt. I was like, how? You've just started. I've been doing this for like like 6 years.
Yeah.
Black belt's a black belt.
Maybe they're really good,
What the
dude.
fuck, man? I was like, I want to go there. Like, get me there. But you know, our studio didn't survive after a while. Like after I left, I heard it closed after like 4 or 5 years after. Just like, you know, it wasn't a sustainable business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had a Korean guy or an American?
Both. So it was Master Menger moved over to Korea, was in the military, met Grandmaster Peng Young Lee,
There we go.
That's a
Peng Young Lee.
legit name.
sponsored him, brought him back, and they ran the gym together.
Oh, that's freaking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Pyongyang.
Lee.
It sounds like a North Korean to me.
Yeah, I don't know if that sounds very North Korean. Dude.
What part of Korea did you get it from?
North side, real north.
Yeah, just the North area.
Scaro reside.
Right by the border.
Yeah.
And then you said you transitioned to Muay Thai. Did you take a fight pretty early on? Like, how old were you?
So I started when I was 15. I think right before I turned 16, I had my first like smoker. It was like an in-house tournament. But those were some of the hardest matches I had.
Yeah.
With another teammate. That was at CASUALS MMA. And I was telling Nick off camera, that's the gym that I teach at now. So it's kind of like full circle.
What?
Whoa.
CASUALS has become Beacon. Coach Bob Peach owns it now. And student becomes the teacher.
Talk about that transition from Taekwondo to like Muay Thai, because it's so different, right?
Yeah.
When you did your Taekwondo help you in Muay Thai, just because it's a lot, you have unorthodox skills that isn't used in Muay Thai.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think my flexibility, my kick dexterity, and the ability to switch stances and be comfortable in both stances was very helpful. But I was like downward blocking low kicks. And getting fucking blasted with head kicks. Yeah.
He's like, Hana,
So like,
dude,
yeah. So like low hands was like really tough for me to fix. And I was getting like outboxed and kicked in the head a lot, clinched some. So it was like breaking bad habits, fixing them. And that took a long time. I would say boxing was actually like the transition that really helped me find my balance and footwork. Getting more comfortable with seeing punches and not flinching, trusting my parries and fighting at that range. That was kind of like what completed my striking, was really focusing on my boxing. And that wasn't until I turned like 19, 20.
I feel like the hard part too is like when you go from a point system type of fighting, you don't expect the punch to come back so quick. And the amount was pretty nuts.
And there wasn't a lot of punches to the face either. It was usually to the body too. So now I'm like,
Because I remember when I started training with Nick, I was like, there was these moments when we spar, I would like hit somebody once, I'm like, I'm done. No, it's not.
the flag goes up.
And you're continually getting hit in the face. It's like, oh, this isn't point fighting anymore.
You got to think like 3-4 steps ahead.
Yeah, when we were like Taekwondo was it went through a phase where a lot of people would just shit on it so much, right? And so like anytime you heard somebody did Taekwondo, they're like, oh, that's not real fighting. Yeah. And then I remember watching Tun Lee in the UFC when he was trying to get into the UFC, and he was a Taekwondo practitioner. Yeah. And I think it's been a while since I saw somebody implemented. And then I think he was this, for me anyways, he was the start of like, Taekwondo is useful. It's just how you use it, right? Yeah, because it just went through such a bad phase because of like the McDojo era, that
daycare centers.
Yeah, and it was kind of rough for the sport.
Yeah, and you can't just like, I mean, we learned this early in the UFC days, but you can't just be a Taekwondo practitioner and fight in MMA.
Yeah,
as long as you're incorporating other things. But then you look at like Wonder Boy, Raymond Daniels, like the elusive defending, and defending that lead leg from the low kicks. MVP now. You know, I think it's a style, but you have to just know the flaws, the weaknesses. You can't just rely on that. You can't really identify as like I mean, you could out of respect, but you can't just be a Taekwondo.
Yeah, I think the tool bag is so deep in Taekwondo, especially with your kicks, because you're seeing a lot of people manage distance well and throw that back straight kick to the gut. Yeah, and it's just like people don't expect it because you're giving out somebody's lead leg, and they go, "Oh, I got you all day." Yeah, but if they turn that into a back kick, it's like it's gonna crush your ribs, and people have been seeing it a lot now, and it's such a fun setup because everybody has like this pathway to victory. Like if somebody's like a traditional Muay Thai stance, they go, "That lead leg's mine." Well, what if I just give it to you? And just kick you right in the fucking gut. I've been seeing it so much now, and I like the respect that the sport's being given.
Yeah, and then John Jones hitting that back kick, and then giving credit to his Taekwondo coach.
What the hell?
Yeah, it's like, oh, everyone's quiet now.
Axe kicks are coming back 2025.
Our months,
they're coming, dude. They're on their way.
Yeah.
Well, see, who's that guy out that Izzy was training with, Van Roos?
Yeah. He's nasty, dude.
His like
he's great.
Setups with the back kick and just like Taekwondo within the system is so refreshing to watch.
His team is so sharp too.
They're so good.
Yeah. I love the distance management that they use, incorporating nice boxing, good movement.
They do a jab, cross hook, spinning hook kick. You're like, whoa.
Lead leg high kicks.
Yeah, I know you could pull that off.
No switch, just whack.
We've been talking. I was talking to somebody yesterday just about like the transformation of even like Muay Thai and like how we got into a little back and forth because there was this video of these two guys boxing. It was a kickboxer and a boxer, right? And obviously the boxer is doing really well with great head movement.
Head movement, yeah.
And then, you know, when she was saying it's like, well, in Muay Thai, like you don't really move your head and you're stationary. I was like, I think that's old talk, right? The sport of Muay Thai has evolved now. Dude, I just saw a clip of Rodtang boxing. His head movement is fantastic. That excuse of like the Muay Thai fighter, we don't do head movement, is gone now.
They're evolving.
It's also, I think, a style too.
Yeah.
A style of like maybe I'm a little bit more Muay Cow and I want to trap your arms so that I don't have to move my head as much, and then I'm going to tie you up. But there he is.
Yeah, there's him, Shane beating him up.
He's like, yeah.
I didn't say that.
Shane's kicking the crap out of Rodtang.
Yeah, what kind of head movement you got, Rodtang?
Yeah, when was this? Well, my hair was short, so this was a couple of years ago.
Did you spar with Rodtang? Or like hard?
Did you fight him?
No.
No way.
But I was just saying to Gilbert too that like there's always at least one person at these seminars that goes,
Dumbass.
I just Rodtanged with Rodtang, meaning like pointed at the ground and just threw
Oh my
fingers at each
God, I
other.
do that.
I'm like, dude, this dude's been traveling for 4 months. He's tired. He's out of shape. He just did a 3-hour seminar, and now you're going to try to knock him out?
Yeah, that's dirty business.
So, yeah, like right there, he's like, yeah, hit me. And I'm like, no.
No. Play this game. Same.
No way.
What, now that you've, exchanged gloves with him, even in a playful manner, to you, what makes him special? Like, what makes him so different and difficult?
I think it's very similar to like if you were to ask that question about anyone at the top when it comes to good striking, and it's like eyesight. It's the lack of flinching, because then your range is on point. And I always say like, what's the first stage of defense? And people will say like, move your feet. I'm like, well, it's your eyes, because you got to see how close they are to know where to move my feet or where to put my hands. So like the moment even if you just like flinch a little bit, that's going to inhibit what you see. Or put your head down or cover. So like, even though he takes shots to the head, keeping his eyes open allows to tell him, like, even if a punch is going to land, he'll roll with it, he'll move with it, or he'll flex his neck muscles so that it doesn't take as much damage.
You got a strong neck.
This also seems a little scary, him throwing at you. A little,
Yeah. And then he goes to sweep me too, and I'm like, oh, okay, so it's boxing with sweeps. And then he's
you
like,
want, sir.
Yeah, and then he's like, knee, throw a knee, and I'm like, oh, so what are we doing here? And then right as he tells me to throw a knee, he sweeps me, and I'm like, I ain't listening to you no more.
You set me up.
We're not playing this.
Yeah.
So it's true though, when you see those seminar videos, especially because I watch a lot of those like Yokai ones, right?
Oh my God.
And there's always that one guy that just goes so ham, and I'm like,
Throws an elbow.
yeah,
That's so crazy.
it's like
No
pretty
elbow
fucking-
pad.
Yeah.
There's the one that everybody watches, the one with Sanchai, and that guy immediately just starts throwing hard, and I'm like, what's the point of this? Like, what are you doing here? And so, like, I always like following what the person who's getting shit on is saying. And it's what you said. It's like, I threw hard with one of the best. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
It's like, what do you mean, what are you supposed to do?
I think the nerves gets to them. I think that's what
Yeah.
happened. I think there's like, holy shit, I'm standing in front of the GOAT.
Yeah, it's this guy.
All my teammates are watching.
Yeah.
Cameras rolling.
Yeah.
I got to look good. I
'Cause it's
got to
not
make my
like-
coach proud.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, coach is like, chill out. Stop being a dick.
You hear the coach in the back, chill.
Yeah.
Go harder, dude.
Yeah, because when this guy started going hard, I was like, what is he doing?
Dude, I moved with Sanchai.
Yeah,
We
what
went
was that
super
like?
light. Sticky hands was like the word that kept popping in my head. Like if I'd throw a teep, he would grab it no matter what, and there was no way I was getting it back. And I got like good range of motion to where I can usually like lift my leg up high, but like he's got like a really tight grip when he holds your legs. And if he wants to put you down, you're going down. There's like nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, I watched the sparring session with Jeff Chan where he got the spar Sanchai too, and I'm so used to seeing Jeff Chan implement his very unique style. Right, he's very elusive, and then for some reason with Sanchai, he just like, it's not gonna happen. You know?
Yeah.
And I don't know what the thing is that made him shut down the style. Like, what is the thing? Like, why did this happen? Like, how come he can't implement what he's doing on somebody like Sanchai?
It's like a disruption of rhythm, confidence, timing, range. Again, the eyesight thing too. I think Jeff in particular is really good at making people flinch when he does that blitz from the outside. He'll like flash a punch and then go for that low kick. And I think people get that like high shell, and you're not going to get that reaction from Saenchai. So like you go to do that and then you kick a shin or something.
He's looking at you the whole
Or
time.
you're getting teeped on the way in. Yeah.
It's like the plan is written like, oh, that's out the window.
Yeah. And then you're like, what do I do?
I think that's kind of what I like about when you see like some of these elite fighters, like they have a game plan, and then there's another opponent that'll shut it down, and second round they have to make this adjustment.
Yeah.
And that kind of like what separates the greats, and you always see it like in some of these amazing fights. It's like they had a game plan and it didn't turn out the way that it was supposed to, and then you get to see the greatness in the fighter.
One of the best bits of advice I ever got from a boxing coach was exactly that. Was like he was like, you keep doing the same thing every round in sparring. He's like, we know your plan A works, but what if it doesn't work? You got to be practicing plan B through Z, and you're going to do that in here, because then if you like suddenly try to do that in the ring, you got no reps with it. You're not going to be confident when it comes time. So like spend a round in southpaw, spend a round fighting on the outside, spend a round on the inside, be a little bit more aggressive this round, work just your jab this round, try to hit that body shot. So like setting challenges for yourself and exploring different styles was like something that at the time I thought would make me worse or take away from my plan A, but it didn't. It was the opposite. I just started to like find different weapons or different styles that happened to work for me that I never would have known otherwise.
You know, for you, especially as somebody who's like an online coach, right? I mean, this is like a very basic question, but I feel like a lot of people want to know this. It's just like people get stuck on like how to get better, right? And I think like because now there's so much information out here on the internet, we kind of get caught up in trying to do a lot of the cool stuff without doing the great stuff that makes you a great fighter.
Yeah.
What would be like your advice for somebody who says like, hey, I want to get better at fighting. What should I do? Like, what are like, let's give like 3 things that are solid.
For general like MMA or striking?
Let's just start, let's say boxing. We'll start with that.
I would say like my focus these days is footwork, range, balance. Like one of the biggest mistakes that I see even at a high level is just too much weight in the front leg. Sitting down on that back leg, especially when you throw across, is something that I'm just like a broken record with. And it's because I see it in my old footage too. Like I didn't land the right hand a lot from orthodox. I would get countered a lot doing that. I'd get off balanced a lot. So like a simple fix like that, you know, simple but not easy, is like you have to be doing it all the time, and you have to be like critical of your reps. I could see my first fight here out of the corner of my eye.
You haven't thrown any crosses at all.
Yeah.
You're just getting kicked.
Yeah. This dude came out hot too. That was the one thing I luckily was able to identify when I was younger, was like, you can't keep up at this pace. And people would come out so hot in the beginning. I'm like, as long as I just make it to like the middle of the second round, that was a good right hand. My right hand to the body was good, because I would like, I gotta give myself credit. Come on,
Come on, look at this.
Look at the advertising on there too, just the static fighttips.com.
Congratulations. I think this video was your first post in 2008, so almost 10
awesome.
years, 3 days ago, or 20.
Well, my first channel was 2005. It got shut down for
the
inappropriate
nudity
content.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know.
Just Shane naked boxing.
No, it was like I used a street fight video as an example of what not to do. And the original channel, which I think had like 30,000 subscribers, got shut down.
Wow.
But number 2, you were saying...
Yeah, so footwork, a focus on balance. Let's see. Still, when it comes to boxing, I would say getting comfortable with punches coming towards you.
Ooh, that's a big one.
So that you can work on your parry range, your catches, which holding mitts is going to help you with that. I think I started to see a big improvement in my defense once I started picking up more personal training clients and was holding more mitts, just because that desensitization of the punches flying towards me, and I'm constantly catching, and that movement of catching a punch is very similar to what I'd be doing when I'm parrying. So I'd say that's the second one, is footwork, getting comfortable at parrying range, and slowing things down probably is like, I do something where I call it 3-step shadow boxing, where I think about the extension, the snap or the point of impact, and the retraction with every punch that I'm throwing. So even if it's a combination, and I'm focused on everything coming back to guard, I'm thinking about that point of impact. What muscles are being recruited and tensed at the point of impact? Am I getting loose again at the point of retraction? because to me that's a form of timing. Everyone always thinks about timing in relation to their sparring partner or opponent, but it's also timing of like when to be loose, when to be tense, and by slowing it down. What does Kevin Ross say? If you can't do it fast, you shouldn't be. If you can't do it slow, you shouldn't be doing it fast, right?
100%.
So I think that gives you a chance to like go through the checklist in your mind, and then you just gradually pick up the speed without missing proper technique.
I feel like that the distance part is like has always been like the hardest thing, right? Because whatever your jab feels like it could touch, sometimes it feels like your right can't touch it either.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, the beginning part for me that was the hardest was like knowing what defense and stance I'm using depending on what zone I'm in. Right, so I would be bladed even though I'm in zone 1. It's like this does nothing for me, you know.
Yeah.
And
But you look cool though.
You look hella cool, dude.
You know what I
And
mean?
then I saw one little tip
I'm a
online
50-50 guy.
from Kwon at Boxing, which is just like where are your
dope.
hips facing
channel.
as
He's
you
dope.
get closer to the opponent. I was like, oh, no wonder my right's not touching because it's fucking all the way back here, and you're here.
Yeah.
And so I would always lend to just trying to shoulder roll this defense, but they would catch me on the end.
Yep.
It's like, what am I doing? It's like, well, if they're right here, your defense isn't there either because I can't slip and roll if I'm bladed this way.
Exactly.
So like those little small tips, it's like stuff that you just don't want to work on because it requires you to think a lot. It's just like that repetition of drill over and over and over. And sometimes drills get boring for people.
Yeah, of course.
And they just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's sometimes where people get a little stagnant because before you've like mastered this one thing, you're on to the next one.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you saw Lomachenko do something. You saw.
Cool.
And then my favorite thing that I saw when I started going to gyms was this like people love the Philly shell. But it's a really hard thing to do.
Yeah.
Starting on hard mode, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And when I saw,
But again, you look cool.
You look hella cool.
so
I'm practically Mayweather.
because they'll get like a block or two here and there, but then you'll see somebody who's aggressive.
Yeah.
And then they just start getting cracked because their feet are stationary and they're leaning back. And
Throwing
eyes are
too many
closed.
punches.
yeah. Like, oh, what happens when this single punch follows up with 4 or 5?
Ref, break it up.
Save me in there.
It's so scary. It's just like defense, I feel like, is so important, but it's just the thing that I think a lot of people don't want to work on as much.
Yeah.
And it's hard to set that up too. Like if you just have 2 people that are just training, it's like you need somebody there to be like, hey, slow everything down.
Exactly.
Like I remember when I went to the CSA clinic, that's where I met Shane originally. And all those like isolation drills they would make us do, like only fight with your lead hand while the other guy could throw whatever. Like I remember those were the most eye-opening.
Setting
Like-
certain handicaps
100%.
for one or both.
Where you can only use the jab, you can only do the head of the body, whatever the rule set is, because it does force you to like, oh, if I didn't do these drills, I would never develop my lead hand. I'm only going to throw what I'm really good at, which is like a right body kick or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and then it forces you to do all those things. And I think from the same standpoint of like defense drills, like just doing all defense drills, that'll really get
And when
your
you
shit
layer
tight.
it like that, like let's say it's just jab only for the first minute or the first round, then it's all lead side punches, then it's all lead side attacks, punches and kicks. You get to the layer on the defensive side of going, oh, it's when we got to the hooks that I started to get overwhelmed, or it's when the kicks got added on that. So now you can isolate where is it that I'm kind of lacking, or at what point do I get overwhelmed? That's what I need to work on in particular.
And you face it right then and there because you're like, I just got my ass beat.
Yeah,
by this left hook.
yeah, exactly.
That's why you
3
make us
minutes.
do that.
100%.
What the fuck are we doing? I'm getting beat up.
Yeah, like I don't want to
Use
do
my
all
right hand.
that. I want to do something
How
else.
important is the conditioning aspect to you when you train somebody?
Oh man, like it's everything. Yeah. I was talking to Nick about that. Like if at our gym at Beacon, if you're not following like conditioning protocol, you're not allowed to fight.
Yeah.
For 2 reasons.
a good
One,
rule.
most important is like it's safety. Like if you go out there and get hurt because you got tired,
Yeah.
that's on us. We got to take care of you. But also like you got to represent the team well. And it's like you got to show it like everyone else is doing. It's only fair that you come and you do it. Like, and I know you got a job and I know you just had a kid and things like that, but it's like so do these guys.
Talking to you, David.
Yeah. And
Now listen, let me tell you
His
something.
cardio's going.
I'm the guy in class that everybody loves and hates. Show up late, I make a joke. They're like, he's great anyway.
Come on in here.
Yeah. When with the conditioning thing, what is the conditioning protocol that you guys have?
well, so it varies depending on the length of the camp where we're at in the camp. I like running, but not everybody does. If you're a heavyweight, you have bad knees, we'll have exceptions to that. We love the airdyne. We do a lot of stuff in airdyne.
The worst thing that has ever been created.
Gold
on
standard right there, baby.
Yeah, that was one that we learned at CSA. It was just like that one, we started doing that at the gym, and never looked back on that one. That one's awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's medicine ball stuff. It's resistance bands. It's sprints, technical work. Like,
it's very sport focused then, right?
Not always, but yeah. Sometimes it's separate. Sometimes we're doing fight training, and that's heavy bag, pad work, sparring, partner drills. And then sometimes it's just to make your knees safer or your vertical higher, or it really depends on the time of the camp. And
you know, for you as like an online coach, and I'm always curious about this, like being online, there's always some type of negativity that's going to be thrown at you, right? And you seem to deal with it pretty well, right?
Have you noticed the change in my tone?
Were you like really like going after people? Back in
he was a lot nicer back in the day.
Here's the stages. Is like when I was a teenager, I was responding like a teenager. I'd be like, "This is the gym I train at. Here's the address. Show up.
Let's go."
That's tight. Bring that Shane back.
Then I started working with my wife, who went to school for like business and marketing, and she was like, "We need to like work on a brand here, including our tone." And she's like, "We're gonna start killing them with kindness." And I was like,
"You're like, I don't want to do.
You're gonna get a man bun. You're going to be a lot nicer." All right.
I called a 3-year-old a pussy the other day. I don't think it's a good look on the gym. Come see me, pussy.
And that worked for a really long time. Where like I would say 50% of the time, someone would be like, "Shane, I hate you. Everything that you teach is bullshit. You're a fraud." And I'd be like, "Hey, thanks for your comment, man. I really appreciate you taking the time. What could I do different?"
Thanks for the engagement.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he'd be like, "I'm sorry, I was having a really bad day." Big fan.
That's
Been
always
watching,
what it is.
watching for years.
That's always what it is.
Yeah.
I know. And now, like, I think at around the lockdowns, I started to see just a lot more comments and a lot more negative comments. People who weren't usually online, were working, are now on Instagram and YouTube, and they're just using it as a pressure release, as Greg Jackson said it in a podcast once. If them saying a negative or a trolling comment is going to prevent them from beating their kids, then
that's
a small.
That's a
it's a net
crazy way to
positive.
look at it. Yeah,
it's a net positive for society. Yeah.
But now I'm just like, I still, with everything that I do, I try to make it like a teaching lesson, but I put people in their place too, because I feel like some people need that like metaphorical punch in the face.
Yeah.
Like, it's good for them.
I love it. That's like my best thing ever, dude.
Oh, you love metaphorical punches.
I always wait for somebody to say something. I'm like, "Oh, I got time today."
Yeah.
That's
What
like
do your kids look like?
Yeah. Dude, it's the best, dude. You just find photos of them and you can make fun of anything.
Yeah.
And you just go in on it.
This dude was like just practicing on his friends how to roast them.
It's so funny because like fans like for my page anyways, they like when we do little roast offs. But then, I'm just a little better at it. And then somebody else will come in and like, "How dare you talk to your fans that way?" It's like, that's what we do here.
Yeah.
They enjoy it.
Yeah.
And some people will chime in. They're like, "You don't talk to people that way." It's like, he called me fat. Like, what about him?
Yeah.
Like, how come I'm the only one in trouble right now? Like, we should both be in trouble.
Yeah.
So mean.
It's banter. It's
come
good for
on
us.
now.
Yeah.
I want to ask about just out of, I remember where I was watching one, and then we just started following Luke, the chef, Lessei. I believe that's his last name, right?
Lessei.
Lessei, not Lessei.
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 No, it's French.
Lessei. And then
Luke Lessei.
one day I was like, "Oh, that's Shane in his corner and training him." How did you go from
Yeah, that's kinda wild.
teenager online fight tips coach,
Fighting
calling 3-year-olds
3-year-olds.
pussies, getting married, transition to like,
wow.
now I'm training professional fighters at one championship, the Premier Striking League. Like, how did that, and was that pretty natural progression? Did you feel kind of like, "Ooh, this is weird"?
Yeah, I mean, it was like, you're talking about like a 20-year gap there. But it started like I was personal training. I was teaching group classes, started focusing more on just fight team training.
Yeah.
Was competing myself, trying to get as much experience as possible. And then the YouTube channel and the Instagram page acted as a tool, as a medium where Luke saw my stuff. I ran into him at IFMA in Iowa. He ran up and introduced himself to me, which I thought was the coolest thing.
How trippy is that, huh?
Yeah. And then we just kind of kept in touch on Instagram since then. He came out for a seminar. We had him at Beacon. He and Coach Peach hit it off really well. And then he was just looking for like a new... the way he worded it was he felt like a big fish in a little pond where he was at, and was just looking for better sparring, different environment, wanted to challenge himself. And to me, that's like the ultimate sign of a good fighter and someone who wants to grow and be better. And Luke's a bro. Like we hit it off well. We're friends, and yeah, it worked out that way.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What was the first fight you coached him in or started a training camp with?
This last one against Cody Jerome, Lumpini Stadium, Thailand, which was a trip.
You got that 50K bonus with that
Bing,
KO?
bang, boom, baby.
First round knockout. I didn't have to do any work. I didn't have to go and do any corner work.
That's great.
So Kuyate, he wasn't with you guys yet.
No.
One part. Oh, okay.
No. Yeah.
So that was kind of the catalyst bit.
Yeah. 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 I think just Luke's, in a better place mentally and very open-minded. Follows direction to a T, which is awesome. Like right there, we do a lot of he does a lot of mental performance work with Coach Jerry Walsh, which has been helpful.
That little sneaky, weird little teep
Long ass leg.
is something that I learned from your page. Where it
Taekwondo.
doesn't. Yeah,
Oh,
No,
yeah.
it is. Yeah, he started Taekwondo, Luke.
it's such a weird little teep where you kind of bring your instep in this way.
He calls it the hacky sack.
It's-
like you're
yeah.
playing hacky sack, and then you extend it like
Yeah, you know what's so cool?
And he's
about-
super good at hacky sack, Luke.
Really?
Super good. Yeah.
All right, I'm starting hacky sack.
Yeah, we're gonna start playing.
I'm starting hacky sack, dude.
Yeah.
You ever see that Thai version where they kick that little? It's like a little. I don't know what it looks. I don't even. What
It's like
they call it.
cantaloupe.
Hey,
How the fuck are you doing that?
The like tennis one over the net, you mean?
There's that one, and there's one. Actually, my mom grew up playing it. It's like a hacky sack, but it's like a bunch of feathers, and it looks like pogs at the bottom. And you kick it, and it bounces. And these guys are really good at just kicking this way,
Yeah.
outside. They're all over the
What
place.
the fuck, man?
Just Thais are good at kicking. You know?
Like even the evolution of the teep is so fun to watch because there's so many angles and variations now. Like Tawan Chai's teep is so fast and it's not chambered, and he extends his hip out and he turns it sideways.
Yep.
It's so hard for people to catch.
Yep.
I like that flexibility and dexterity is so important.
I've been watching closely. He's in our division.
Oh,
Yeah. Yep.
how exciting!
I really want the rematches back. I really want to fight Joe again. I want Bambi.
smoke.
I want
Bambi.
I want Bambi.
That guy's
more.
good.
He's
He is
really
good.
good.
He's a damn male model.
He's
God damn it. So
Luke wants
lucky.
that one back too.
You guys drilling this kick and then seeing him pulling it off
cool
in the
is that,
fight.
dude?
That's so.
How cool is that?
That's so fucking cool. And it's like
and he
it's-
calls it too. He's like, I think that might be the one.
Yeah, and then sure enough,
Yep.
that's the one he.
And then
he
if you,
dropped him a
if you
couple
listen
times
to the
with it.
fight, Peach goes, we call it a spot kick. He goes spot, 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 boom. So cool.
Such a great setup.
But that's Luke, man. Like he's everything you look for in a fighter, and he's a good dude.
I love
a great
his
heart.
his switch kick feints and his hip feints. They like as I'm watching it, it feints me out.
Yeah.
You know?
yeah,
so
yeah.
saucy.
Yeah. I was like, how did I get faked in a video? Like, it looks so overcommitted.
Yeah. That's his thing. Yeah, it's just like you got to sell it. It's got to look real.
That's just fucking.
Think about it like you're putting the brakes on it. Like you're starting a move, you're so committed, and then you slam on the brakes.
That's hard. That's hard though.
You know,
That's
yeah.
fucking hard.
You tore your oblique doing that.
I know. See, the conditioning part is my problem right now, dude.
Yeah, what do you do over this guy? This guy tore his oblique. He was kicking a heavy bag. How many times? How long? You were like 2 hours or something.
You know what happens is like every time I watch a UFC fight, it puts fire in me.
You get amped. Yeah.
Yeah, or I watch a one fight, it gets fire. I'm like, all right, 100 kicks. Yeah. And then I tore my oblique.
Oh no!
That
When was
shit-
this?
This was 2 years ago. I was, I got a fight camp bag, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
this is so fun to hit. It doesn't hurt my shins, but I could fully throw kicks into it. And I just leaned it against this wall, and I was like, cool, I'm just gonna throw these. Pop, pop, and I heard a pop. I was like, oh! I just laid, I was like, I'm done.
he just crumbles.
I'm done. And I just
man.
laid on the floor. No warm up. Haven't kicked in months at that point.
Did you have any crazy injuries in your career where you were out for a minute?
Yes. It's always jiu-jitsu, man. So I just finally started
It
taking my
was the
jiu-jitsu.
gentle art. It was the
let's
gentle
go.
art. How do people keep?
Dude,
getting injured?
that's a lie. That's the biggest.
It is kind of a lie.
I've never gotten cut or broken a bone in Muay Thai. Wow. Fought like pro rules Muay Thai. Got elbowed in the face. But I've broken ribs, torn my shoulder, threw my back out, got sliced open.
from jiu-jitsu.
Oh my god, you got sliced open in jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, like I had someone's back and he spun real quick and spinning elbowed me in the
Oh,
chin.
what are the chances, right? Like
Spinning elbow
What are
on the
the
ground.
fucking chances?
I heard that's like what he was telling me is like the white belt is like the dangerous part because everybody's so spazzy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But you
MSP,
can't use
baby.
that word. I just learned recently.
Really?
Really? You
Really?
can't say that?
Yes, I can. I don't give a
What
fuck.
did we say?
David
Hey.
so will.
That's I will say whatever the fuck I want. All right? Fucking shit. every time somebody says something, hey, that's a marginalized group. Marginalize these nuts. How about that?
Hey,
Look at the
they
camera
are.
right there.
They are being marginalized.
Marginalize
there.
these nuts.
Marginalized by your pants.
These shorts that I brought from Sheen for $3. All right.
Best $3
I
ever.
bought 6 shorts. This is the only one that was decent. The other were all factory defects. Just wanted to see what it was like over there in Ching Chong land. Cancel me again, bitch! Cancel me right now.
He's uncancelable.
Please don't. Please don't. I'm kidding.
Yeah, if you guys are listening on audio, that was all Shane that said all that.
That was
That's
Shane's
crazy.
That
Shane was saying those things.
Rather Shane, dude.
Coaches this.
Shane's impression of David.
You know what's so funny? I was watching this. This is like your version of just like knowing how to word ninjutsu bad situations. We had a buddy of mine, like Phan. He was on your page, and he was like criticizing you because he was like, "Oh, this guy."
Oh,
Phan
Phan was talking shit to you?
Yeah, he was like, "This guy doesn't even have like real pro fights. Like, come to my gym and fight me and see what's up." And you're like, "Nam, I respect it." He goes, "All right."
Thanks for saying that, man. That was actually really cool of you.
What a way to diffuse the situation.
Which
huh?
I get it. Like, I get where he's coming from. Someone who's been in the sport that long, blood, sweat, and tears, and then to see someone who maybe has a bigger following or whatever. Like, you see someone, we're all guilty of it. Like, you just see someone and you give them a personality. But I think, once you get to know somebody, my intentions are good.
I bet if Nam hung out with Shane, he'd be like, I was so wrong about you.
Yeah.
Hey, you're the man.
Yeah. And I'm a fan of his, too. Like,
Yeah, how often do you get called out by other fighters? Is that a normal thing?
I see it pretty frequently.
Oh, David just tracks all the fighters.
I feel like since you've been doing YouTube.
but there's more people who don't. Like, it's the minority of people. Who
yeah.
Most fighters and coaches are really cool, but there's also some haters.
Self-awareness is something that 99% of the world doesn't have. And I didn't realize that. Because you'll see like in comments, they'll like criticize you or some other coach, right? And then you just have to click on their page. And then you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? What is this?
Yeah.
What am I
Great
looking
example, dude. There's a buddy that I know, right? Shout outs to Don, dude. Don loves going on UFC fighters page and talking shit. I will show you guys a video of him on my phone. I just screen recorded.
Oh, but he's not doing a bit. He's criticizing
serious.
for real.
This is this guy named Don. He's a photographer, right?
Yeah.
Don, you're such a fucking dweeb. Like, if I wanted to, we'll superimpose a video of you shadowboxing and hitting a bag, and it's literally the funniest thing I've ever. I cried laughing. Because in my mind, I'm like, oh, Don's been training, so he's talking shit to other people. Let's see it. Off frame, it's just a bag hanging. And you see him jump in with the flying knee.
But it was a good flying knee or
Terrible.
Oh, okay.
It's got to be. It's got to be a form of like mental illness.
100%.
I wasn't expecting you to say that.
That took me.
That was fine.
Hey, superimpose Shane's mouth on the body.
Sign up for Shane's fucking instructionals, yo.
Or it's just he's never been punched in the face. Actually,
That's for sure.
That's
That's for
probably
sure.
what it is.
That's for sure.
people deserve more respect than that.
Yeah.
And no disrespect to Don. Don?
Don. No major disrespect, dude.
All disrespect.
Hey, Don, I love you, dude, but don't make me post that video, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you got to stop that shit.
You talking shit to other people is wild.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much fighters, combat sports athletes get shit on, though.
Yeah. For real.
It's wild.
It's too
crazy
much.
to think about.
It's getting crazy. It's getting kind of out of pocket.
It is.
It's swinging the other way where it's like,
Okay, guys, I get it.
no, it might be to the point where,
It's crazy. Just fight Bo Nickel already.
Yeah.
David.
it's like you see all these videos of these fighters actually like going up to these guys, like Marab, he goes up to these guys.
That's wild to me.
And part of it is like, look, I don't
Like the pranksters, you mean? Like,
not even
No,
the
people just
pranksters, like
talking
people
shit.
talking shit to him, and he'll go up to them and like get in their faces. And part of me, like, as a guy who's like, I want Marab to do well in the sport. You want to see him be champ and all that stuff. You're like, dude, don't do that. But as a fan, you're like, that's kind of tight. You did that though. It's kind of tight. You got in his face
Hold
and like
people
made the guy
accountable.
like, oh, like you see the deer in the
It's
headlights.
TJI, right? Even?
Yeah, for like that whole thing where he's
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry. And then as soon as he leaves, he's like, yeah, fuck you, Marab.
I'm like-
it's just wild, disrespectful.
yeah. Hopefully it's good for them. Hopefully that's a teaching moment.
Yeah,
for them.
hopefully.
Yeah.
For a
It's
split
always weird,
second.
too. It's like, these guys are cutting weight right now? Do you have any idea how
They
like
don't.
on edge
Yeah,
they
they
are?
They don't. They don't know.
They don't know what that
Maybe
even
that's
feels
what
like.
it is. They don't know.
Like when you don't eat lunch, you're like that, people.
Yeah. Exactly.
Now imagine not eating lunch for 2 months.
a real proper weight cut.
Yeah.
Like you're dropping 40 pounds in like 3 weeks.
Oh, man, I know.
And then
That's
you
why,
have to
like,
deal with all
I hate
this.
having to do interviews too, like while fighters are cutting weight. I'm
Yeah.
like, I go up and I'm like, I promise to take 30 seconds.
I am so sorry.
I will get out of here.
Yeah, when I did the UFC stuff, I prefaced it. I was like, "It's 30 seconds. It's fast. It's just gonna look good on you. I'm gonna get you out of here." And they appreciate it.
Yeah.
Because they're tired, man.
Yeah.
I understand. I see how tired they are. They just had to do all this. They had a shit talk. They had to go on stage. I'm like, this is gonna be the fastest interview for you.
All they want to know is that you get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the crazy thing too. It's like that level of like delusion is pretty rampant. Like
Delusion.
it's straight delusion. And then when I see like the videos of like the dojo storming, like people think it's uncommon, but a lot of that mentality is there. And I know it because, you know, when I was younger, it was like that is, oh, I got hands, because you get in these little street fights or whatever. And then you fight somebody with just a little bit of experience and it's like, I'm really bad at this. And then there's the next level of delusion where they'll get their ass handed to them and they still don't get it.
Right.
So it's like, what is gonna? I have to shoot you in the stomach? Like, and then you're like, shit, this is a bad scenario.
But that's what Shane was saying. It's the mental illness side. That's where it really comes in. Because I saw that one famous video of the dude comes in and he wants to fight Curtis, what's his name?
Blades?
Action Man.
Oh my God.
From
Sean Strickland's best friend.
Chris Curtis.
Chris Curtis.
Yeah.
He's sparring with him. Chris Curtis like head kicks him ever so gently, like the sweetest head kick you could ever see. And the guy gets dropped, and he's like being nice to him, and he gets up and he's like, I would have beat your ass right there. You're like, dude, that guy just was so gentle, so nice to you, beat you up in the nicest way possible, and you're still getting
Charlie Zelenoff guy.
Yeah,
which I
Charlie
hate to even
Zelenoff.
drop his name.
Okay, that was mental illness, correct?
Oh, 100%.
Charlie?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, isn't there like levels to that?
He was fighting randos at LA Fitness, though. He was the original. He was the original.
Who did he fight? What
Deontay
fighter?
Wilder.
Deontay Wilder, right?
Left gloves on.
Yeah. I think he sucker punched Mayweather Sr.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
He sucker punched him, and I was like, yo.
And then he went off on him. Oh, man.
And the Mayweather
And then a
gym.
bunch of people jump in the ring, and the camera just cuts.
Crazy. Crazy
He
business.
said something terrible about Deontay Wilder's daughter,
That's what it was.
which is the
Insane.
lowest fucking scumbag you could ever be. Look, there's like these prank type of stuff, but Deontay Wilder literally started boxing so he could pay for his daughter's medical bill.
Yeah.
And then you say that, dude, you're in the ring with the guy who could kill you at any given time that he wants to. Like, that truly is a mental illness at that point.
Which then, like, if you go one step further, what is it in that kid's mind, Charlie Zelenoff's mind, that's like, this is my mission in
This is
life.
my shot.
This is what I need to do with my life. And then even after he gets beat up 10 times, still is convinced that he's undefeated and that he should continue doing it.
Yeah.
What is that?
That's just called heart and will.
Yeah, it's called courage, dude. What's wrong with you, man?
Yeah, it's never giving up on yourself.
Delusion, I think.
Okay, that's a better word. Okay, I see what you mean.
I
see where you're going with
really
this.
do feel...
But he probably sees it as that.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
I do feel that if anybody is like a fan of the sport and you watch it consistently, which is dope, just go into a gym and just get a feel for what fighters go through. Number one, it'll make the sport 10 times more exciting because now you can see things that you weren't able to see before. Like for me right now, because I don't do jiu-jitsu, I always have to refer to him whenever I see these MMA. Once it goes to a high level, I'm lost now. It just looks like constant scrambling. I don't know what people are setting up. And the flaw of that is because I don't do jiu-jitsu. So I don't know what's happening.
Really well said. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I started, kickboxing and boxing, I watched a lot of your videos, Jeff Chan, MMA. I was like, oh, this fight is way more fun.
Yeah.
Because now I'm trying to see setups.
Yeah.
I can see what they're trying to do versus before. It's just, I'm waiting for somebody to get their teeth knocked in. But I don't know what's allowing it to happen. Right?
Yeah.
So like, if you guys want, train at a gym for at least a month, right? So you can at least feel it, because one of the annoying
big
things
ass.
that I hear, it's like, he's already tired. It's the third round. How are you exhausted?
Yeah.
Are you insane?
Yeah.
Have you shadow boxed for fucking a minute?
You ever jump rope for a minute? You're like, I'm out of shape.
Dude, look, I'm not doing boxing after that.
I always get my ass whooped by my shadow. It's fucking hard, dude.
But like Nick said, that's a big ask.
It is.
A month of training. To even show up at the gym is a lot. Like one time is a lot to ask of somebody.
Like that feeling of
create every
having like your chest burn, your arms feel heavy, your knees are giving out, and then they go, we're not done yet. You still have the other half hour of the class. Is really an eye-opening experience, because what you're doing in these group classes doesn't even touch what a pro fighter does. So you have to go through that fire, somehow all the drills have to be ingrained in your system, because when you're in that cage, and every fighter says the same thing that I've asked now, it's like there's the game plan, and then there's the stuff that you drilled that will show in the fight. So it has to be instinct at that point. And then when your body can't catch up to your skill level, it doesn't matter. It all goes out the fucking window. And it was a really shocking thing for me because in my mind, I'm like, oh shit, I know what I'm doing. And then next thing you know, heart gives out, legs give out, arms give out, and then the chin is up.
Yeah.
Right? And
My penis is out. I don't know why.
penis is out.
Just happened. Those exchanges are very wild.
And it's cool too because now you get the art of 9 limbs.
New sport, new style, sport. The art of 9 limbs.
I think we brought back Muay Thai.
You doing this? It's like a dick shadow right here in the middle.
Sawadee ka.
Sawadee cock, baby. Let's go. Sawadee cock. Let's go.
Shit, I feel like you've trained with so many coaches throughout your career. I think this one is one of probably the coolest ones.
We're he's one of the best, dude. We love Firas. And seeing you guys spar with each other was like, yo, what is going on?
I didn't know Firas was going to come at me. Like,
bro, Firas came at you, dog.
How did this get?
Sparring?
Tell us how this all came to be.
Hey, Firas came at Jeff too on this video.
Bro, the thing about Firas, though, I forget, he's sparring with all his team all the time.
Oh, dude.
Oh, that's part of his.
The most
real?
legit. He's,
Bro,
yeah.
he's a Danaher black belt. So
arguably the most legit like MMA
honestly, he probably is, man.
when
Like
it comes to like a fighter himself.
across
Mount Rushmore coaches.
I think he's definitely up there, bro. He could fight in the UFC right now if he wanted.
Yeah. Firas is coming out to our summit.
That's gonna be amazing.
can I-
Oh yeah,
gotta go.
really quick.
Gotta go to the summit.
Oh, plug the summit really quick.
Yeah, so May 16th through the 18th, Cherry Hill, New Jersey, Beacon MMA. We've got Firas coming out. We got Coach Kieran Fitzgibbons coming out. We got Coach Brian Popejoy coming out.
Ooh. Come on, Jackie.
Luke Lessei's going to be doing a block there.
All stars right there.
It's and that's like half.
You're doing one too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Has to.
And it's for enthusiasts, hobbyists, fighters, coaches. We're going to be doing business advice as well. So it's yeah. If you can make it out, definitely come to this event. And if you're a MAGNVS member, it's half off. So if you use code Dark Horse, that'll get you a discount on a MAGNVS membership.
Look at that.
What a lineup.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a freaking lineup.
Coach Peach, I know, doesn't have the following.
Oh,
like everyone
Jordan.
else, but in my mind, Coach Bob Peach is one of the best coaches in the world.
Dude.
And just a great dude to hang out
Jessica Rose Clark, you got
with.
Katie.
Yeah, Jess, Coach Katie. Yep.
That's dope. That's a crazy
Hard work
lineup.
stuff. Yeah.
Jordan's the man.
What was going on through your head during this spar with Firas? Like, what were you trying to deal with?
He spiked my heart rate quick.
Yeah, I'm like, what?
because he caught me off guard. Like I was ready for a casual. This was like, this is probably 10 o'clock at night. He had just come from Rogan. We had just filmed a podcast, and then he's like, "You want to film some videos?" We filmed like 4 videos, and he's like, "Let's spar. I'm here." And I'm like, "All right." And I'm like winding down. I'm thinking it's the end of the night. And we're just gonna touch gloves and move around. I thought it was gonna be like a podcast spar where we're like talking back and forth, and he's just like blasting me with jabs. I'm like, "Oh God!" So it was a little bit of survival mode.
Yeah.
And you can
He's
see
a
like
big
my
guy,
legs
too.
are already getting a little stiff too. I'm like, we're breathing out of our mouths. Like it was like a
Wait, how
an
long was
actual
this
spar.
round?
How did we? I think we just got to a point where we're like, I think that's good. It was like
So you did a
5.5
20
minutes or something.
20-minute round.
Round.
I forget. This is a couple years.
And it's a small little area,
I know,
too.
I know.
He's always switching stances.
Yeah,
He's so tricky, man.
yeah.
He's so
Looping
tricky.
punches, really good range. Intercepts well, like as I'm throwing punches.
Like his defense
that.
is so active, right? Forward, back. like,
Exactly.
he's just
Great
on
footwork.
you.
Yeah.
But when I watch him, like, because he does these breakdown videos where he spars his guys, and he just beating up everybody in his gym.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu,
Yeah,
wrestling,
yeah.
and he's calling everything out. Like
Khabib, dude.
No, seriously, man. Like, he could do it all. Like, he really is a Swiss Army knife. Like,
Yeah. And he's been doing it for how long too?
high level
Long time.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, his grappling is next level, too.
Oh my God.
And he's ahead of the game. So, and that's the reason why TriStar, they have such an amazing camp.
Dude, you look like, hey man, are we done?
Yeah, I know.
Are we good?
And it's kind of cool. Like,
Proved your point. I could whoop my head.
we just saw
Everybody knows it now. And now I got to post it to my channel.
I gotta post this too. Damn it.
It's like, I noticed you haven't posted that sparring video.
Yeah, it's coming out.
6 years.
It's coming out.
Like, you know why? Because I was bleeding internally, man. That's so insane, man. If you could give a tip to somebody about how to like correctly light spar, what is that? Because I feel like that definition is so elusive.
You need someone overlooking it. You
need a
like,
third
coach.
party.
Yeah, you really do. There's guys like this happened last week where a guy's like, I just want to spar with my friend. He's like, we're just going to do one round. It's our first time sparring. Can we jump into sparring class and you just keep an eye on us? And I'm like, normally I wouldn't know. Like, if you're taking sparring class, you got to stay for the whole half hour. And then I'm like, we don't go above 30%. So we do a power sensitivity drill where you hold up your right hand, you throw a right hand, 100%, blast it, boom. Wow, a lot of power, cool. Drop it in an increment of 10%. Let's feel 90. Let's feel 80, 70, down to 30. If 30 feels a lot like 95, we do the drill again until it actually feels like 30.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And I talk about like, that's what pulling a punch is, right? Like I can still throw at 100% speed, but only touch like the first layer of skin, not follow through. So that's what I'm looking for. And why that's important, not just for safety, but like to control pace or like output in a fight. Like Lomachenko's a great example of someone who like will like touch, or the Diaz brothers will touch, and then when they see the opening, that's when they put steam on it. And I always say like Connor's an example of the opposite. I feel like everything he throws is at 100%, but he gasses out because of it. So like if he touches you with any one of those strikes, you're hurting. But I like the idea of being able to change the tempo up. So I try to teach that as early as possible, but these guys just went like balls to the wall right off the bat. I'm like, guys, this is what I was talking about. And then the bell rings and they're like, all right, I'll do one more. And they start moving with like the fight team guys and try to quit halfway through the round. I'm like, no, this is exactly what I'm telling you. You said you were, yeah. And I'm like, no, you got to do the whole 30 minutes now. And they were dying. But like that was a way to like humble them, respect them, and teach them. It's like, that's why you don't go 100% right off the bat. That's why we keep it at 30%. And welcome to sparring. You know?
That's tight.
What do you feel about those videos of like people who, like pro fighters, and they're known or some are not well known, but they'll just beat the shit out of somebody that comes in, you know, that talks a little shit.
You mean like when a stranger will come in?
Yeah.
Oh. You reap what you sow, I guess. You know, it's like, you sign the waiver. Yeah, I mean.
Those are the things
nice to
too.
see
Like some people, they're like, "That's not true martial arts. You should have been nicer to them." But at the same time, it's a combat sport.
Yeah.
You know, like you're coming in and you're talking shit. You're disrespecting everybody.
And again, I think it's good for those people to get humbled. I think that's what those people need the most. Like, like you get cut off by someone on the 405. It's like, man, they would benefit so much from getting punched. You know, like it would feel good to do that. But also, like I truly believe, like the world would be a better place if more people sparred, got hit, had respect for each other.
Have you ever had uncoachable fighters?
Oh yeah, we've had to like fire people.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How does that work? Like, what are you seeing in somebody that causes for that conversation to happen, for you to be like, okay, this is not going to work?
When they start to bring like the whole environment down, like the rest of the gym, like if they're like a cancer or like a toxic person, they talk shit online about you or the team. Which is crazy, yeah. And it's a lot of that, like that Don guy we were talking about, like just crazy stuff. That it's like, and you'll sit them down, you'll have a talk with them, and you know, like it's 2 strikes. It's not 3 strikes. Like if you tell them not to do it and they do it again, it's like, see you later.
So you have to,
and they'll like break down and cry and like plead.
Oh,
like,
for real?
Yeah.
That ever get you though? You're like, fuck.
No. Because it's not up to me. It's Coach Peach, and he runs a tight ship. Yeah, it's like,
That's how you maintain that culture, though, right? That's everything.
It's
everything in the gym.
Yeah, and it's a super healthy culture. That's why I love it. That's why I drive an hour and a half to get there.
Hour and a half, bro.
You drive an hour and a half?
Yeah.
Wow.
Give myself 2 hours to get there. Yeah.
Holy.
What was the point of
And there's
moving
no
out of
traffic
LA?
like LA. I know,
But it's the same
just
thing.
that far. I think it's like 70 miles or something.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's some dedication, dude.
For
I
real.
love that.
That's a real
the
coach
gym,
right
I'm
there.
telling you.
That's a real coach.
That's a real coach.
Jim.
I want to get into some quick MMA news, if you don't mind. Did you guys hear? Are you familiar with the Bryce Mitchell, President Awesome story?
I saw this video, yeah.
Okay, so Bryce Mitchell was supposed to fight a Israeli Jew and pit submission. Hey, crazy?
It's a good matchup, huh?
And then Bryce, not telling Karate Combat, he pulled out of the fight. And I'll just play the video. You can't hear the audio, but essentially one of the reasons was because he felt like Karate Combat made him look queer on the poster that they edited.
That's the reason?
He said, "Y'all try to queer me up. I ain't fighting." So that's the photo right there.
Good.
That's the photo that he was upset about. So President Awesome kind of just trolled the. So Nick, I feel like we have to ask Nick. Nick, how do you feel about someone taking someone's cauliflower ear out? Do you feel like that's queering you up?
No, I don't think so. It looks like they put a little, maybe like eyeliner or something around his eyes, but I don't really think there's anything clearing him up.
There's anything wrong.
I think the only argument he has maybe is the pink background, but that's a stretch.
But that's the poster.
Yeah,
That's both fighters.
That's just the branding of the poster.
I mean, I think you just kind of look gay in general, bro. Like in the sense that you're a very pretty guy. Actually,
He has long eyelashes.
you have these long eyelashes.
long eyelashes. will
These
get you.
fucking blue eyes that I could just fall in love with.
Yeah.
Like, what did you expect? You got some gay ass looks to you, bro, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Like, you look pretty.
Some guys would kill for that.
Yeah.
I would.
He
I would
killed
love
himself for that, apparently.
I'd love long eyelashes, I think.
No, I'm saying you're a pretty looking guy.
You can't really make that up out of Bryce Mitchell. It's like it's out of a movie, bro. It's like he's a sketch character.
I thought they
sometimes
like
when he
put
talks.
lipstick on him or something. Like, no.
Yeah.
Interesting, Bryce. You're a good looking dude, man. What'd you expect?
Saying you're queering me up is a crazy statement.
That's my favorite thing
That's
ever.
so funny.
Like,
Hey, man, stop queering me up.
I'm like, dude, as a joke, hilarious, but he was being serious.
Yeah,
Which is
yeah,
wild.
yeah, yeah.
My favorite video right now is him explaining what he meant by the helicopter coming down in the atmosphere, and he did a doodle. He was like, I know everybody's calling me stupid, but let me explain to you. And he was like, this is what I drew. It's like a little 3-year-old drawing.
And he's like, you guys don't understand inertia. You don't understand gravity. And I'm like, dude, I'm out already.
I'm out too.
I don't get this.
It's like, you know what, at this point, maybe you're right, dude. You have so much conviction, I believe you.
Yeah.
All right, I just want to do a quick recap before we get into some early picks. Any thoughts? Just we don't have to go through every fight. Prelim, 7-for-7 finishes, pretty wild. What did you guys think about the eye poke?
That is a horrendous.
It's a bad eye.
Did you get a chance to see the eye poke?
Yeah.
Okay.
That is horrendous.
You know what I don't think, what I think they should do is, you know those like Fairtex bag gloves?
Yeah.
Where your thumb's out?
Like the shell.
Yeah, dude. I feel like those gloves would be perfect for MMA. Besides the breaking your hand, maybe. But like, you know, if they remodel it in a way where they can cover the hand, because at the end of the day, the only thing you're gripping is this, right? Your thumb is free. You have good range of motion with your fingers. You can grab. Your fingers won't get in anybody's eye sockets.
Did you see what Jim Miller said? His statement.
What did he say?
He said it was an issue of fighters actually not closing their fist.
Yeah, like
which I
level
think
of
that's
control.
100% it.
Which I love that.
Yeah.
I think that's like, because if you talk about control when it comes to like footwork and balance, punches, loose and relaxed, why not down to the fingers of where they're extended? Because like when I frame, I'm like very particular with the structure of my fingers too. And he was saying he believes it's more like I'll win at all cost mentality. So like maybe not intentional, but also like if I extend my arm, it's a frame, but it also could be used as a weapon. And if his eyes are there and it's the third round,
Incidental contact.
yeah, and I'm gonna win on the scorecard. I don't know. I think it should more so just be penalized, like he said,
100%.
more harshly.
100%. If they don't do a new glove, that's what they have to do. They have to just
I think
take points off.
The sport, they don't put enough severity on how bad eye pokes are, right? It's horrendous. And then because the sport or the athletic commission itself doesn't put an emphasis on it, the fans don't know how bad it is to get eye poked. It is debilitating.
Was it you? It was on this podcast you mentioned, like, even if you just have an eyelash in your eye.
Yeah.
It's just,
It's awful.
it fucks everything up.
So in Luke's fight, he didn't get hit, I don't think, at all. Like maybe a couple of jabs or something.
That's
awesome. Got his eye scratched really bad. And we went back and watched in slow motion. We can't figure out where. I think he actually may have did it to himself, throwing an elbow. I think. But he, like, that night, everyone's like, how'd you celebrate $50,000 first round knockout? I'm like, dude, he just wanted to sit in the hotel room in the dark because his eye was killing him.
It's the
for
worst.
days.
It's the
For
worst.
days, dude.
Yeah, I had my eye I had like my retina detached on my right eye for a very slight tear. That fucked me up, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I can't see.
Yeah.
It's literally double vision in my right eye. And then, slowly went back. And then I got it checked. They're like, you're actually very lucky nothing happened. Like, it was such a small tear. You're okay.
We know so many of these guys who are amateur going to pro, first pro fight, detached retina. Done. Can't fight no more. Donezo. Like 2 or 3 guys that happened to recently. Where it's just like, oh my God, dude, that's the worst thing you want to get. It's just an eye poke that just ruins your whole career.
Because like the shitty thing about this fight too, right? And people could say what they want. They go, oh, well, he was winning on the scorecards all those 3 rounds anyways. But it doesn't, there's 2 more fucking rounds. Those are the championship rounds.
Cejudo could have done something.
And they cut it off and they go, we're just going to score these first 3 rounds. That is so fucking unfair. Because already too, he got kicked in the cup twice at that point. And then after he got stabbed, what was Song's stance? Literally like this. And then, look, Jason Herzog, I think he's a great ref. No warning for literally doing this for the last minute of the round is nuts to me, right? Especially because he just got stabbed in the eye. And by the way, if people want to go look at the footage.
That's a bad one.
It wasn't like this. It was literally here into the socket and then out. Yeah. It was disgusting.
Couple knuckles deep. Yeah.
Immediately, it should have been no contest. No questions asked. But I think like Henry too, he wanted to continue to fight. I wonder if he would have just said, "Look, I can't see off jump," if it would have been a no contest, or
I
is
think
it?
it would have been a no contest.
Okay.
Which is weird. I don't
The
understand.
whole situation was so weird.
I don't
how it
understand those
happened.
rules at all.
Start the 4th round so I could stop it and wave it off. Like it was. I don't know.
Yeah, you got Song out there.
It should have just been a no contest. It's such a horrendous eye poke. And once again, it goes into that conversation of certain fight fans that just don't know the severity of it, and they go, "He's a quitter. He quit. He's a fucking Olympian, dude. Like, what are you talking about?
Delusion.
Yeah.
That's the
He won
delusion.
2 belts.
Because people are thinking, if I got poked in the eye, I would have fucking faked
Oh,
it.
would you?
Yeah.
That's what
Would
people
you?
would say. You know, like I'd be like, oh, I'm not.
with one eye.
Exactly.
I know. I had a paper cut the other day. I was suffering, dude. Are you insane?
And I want to show you guys really quick. This Jean Silva KO, Fighting Nerds. I mean, these guys are in a roll. Get slapped. Good times.
He's
We're having
crazy.
a great fight.
Fighting Nerds. I don't know what's going on with them, but they're fucking
They're
crazy.
amazing.
But talk about distance control, eyes. They probably have the best eyes in the game right now.
Yeah.
Like they're doing something special over there.
Oi. And this is kind of crazy. Was the guy just like, what's happening? And then
Yeah.
worse, elbows to the rib cage.
You know, I love watching these fights, especially when these things happen and you get to see what happened in slow mo. It's like it's that talk of it's a game of like inches, right? Because for somebody like Melsik, he's very bouncy, but he decided to bounce in front of Silva at the worst area. It's right there in striking range. He did a bounce, caught him off rhythm, bang, done.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed by your IQ, man.
Oh, no,
He's
David-
got an eye
watch
for
this,
this
dude.
stuff.
He's better than
You
Dominic
watch it.
Cruz. I said it. Don't ever walk off this podcast. Don't ever walk off this podcast again.
We'd love to have you back.
Wink,
We'd love
wink.
to have you back soon.
Because I started, you know, Coach Barry Robinson gets a lot of shit, right? Because he always talks about that rhythm step. But even that conversation sparked something in me. It was like, oh, I started catching people with a jab because when people would circle, they would circle within my range and they're
back.
bouncing. I was like, oh, jab to the face.
Yep.
And then it was just such a novice thing that it's like I never thought about. And then when I saw the slow, I was like, oh, you were bouncing right in front of him in a transition, off for the bonk.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, game of inches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy too that like the sport we're still seeing stuff like that, like people making that mistake? It's less often, and then the strikers that fix that and recognize that are just have that little bit of an edge.
And they're smoking everybody.
Yeah.
Because Jean Silva, when he's fighting all these guys, it's like they look like he's in a completely different division.
Yeah.
Like they just don't belong in there with him. And he's like Drew Dober. When he fought Drew Dober's very good. He's a striker. And Jean Silva just pieced everything he threw looked like he saw from a mile away. And it's they have an edge over everyone else. And it's not just Jean Silva. It's Prates.
Yep.
Rufy's fighting in a couple weeks.
Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle
It's
Barrio.
those eyes you're talking about.
It's the eyes.
Those Brazilian eyes.
They see all. That's why they have the glasses, yo.
What I teach in my seminar, I call it the bubble. So like if I were to paint my knuckles and just like paint open space right here, it would create this bubble. And that's like my wingspan, my range. Now that bubble is dynamic, so if I step when I punch, that bubble moves. But if you can like visualize that threshold, I think the highest level fighters can kind of see that bubble, and that the shape of the bubble is different depending upon your wingspan or your height, where my body position is. But I think just like focusing on that and not just doing 3 rounds on the heavy bag and focusing on making like loud cracks on the bag,
I love doing that.
but being just outside of range, that perfect connection, moving with the bag, and then doing that with sparring and everything. Like that's what I notice is like the best strikers are doing.
We are.
Transition into one right there. Right?
Come on.
Oh yeah, dude. We're coming to the close of the show because they're gonna kick us out here soon. But I want to get your early picks for this 172 card, Takaru versus
Oh my God,
Rodtang.
what a crazy card, dude.
So let's start with the first
Oh my
fight.
God, they're making these fights already.
Rodtang. What do you
One does
what do you like?
such good fights. I feel like this was like, remember, Nick, you probably watched K1 back in the day, right?
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
And there was
That's
like,
what it feels like.
yeah.
It's like the golden
But,
era, all the
and
best
you would always
guys.
wish for like certain matchups. I feel like these happen like every 2 weeks with one. It's crazy.
Dude, like when I saw the Nabil and Superlek on this card,
How's that already
I forgot
happening?
they even did. I forgot that was in the works.
Yeah, which is the rematch.
And they made it happen so quick. This is gonna be ridiculous.
yeah.
Rodtang and Takaru.
do you
That's
guys
gonna be an
like?
interesting style. Is it kickbox? Oh, it's kickboxing.
It's
not
kickboxing.
Muay
I'm
Thai.
actually going Takaru on this one.
Oh,
I think he's going to go front kicks to the body a lot, and Rodtang usually likes to catch, and he's not going to be able to do much since it's kickboxing.
They're gonna yell at him for catching.
So I think he's going to. It may wear on him getting hit in the body a lot. That may zap him a little bit. But Rodtang always finds a way, man. So it's hard.
The boxing exchanges are going to be really interesting.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to see how that. Did you see the sparring footage of Takaru at Boxing Works?
I don't like that. Dude.
Oh my!
He was at
Where he was
Boxing
just
Works?
murdering everybody.
So he
Did
was.
you see the one he
sparring-
deleted?
Which one was? He got slept. He got.
Yeah, the kid went through the ropes.
Wait,
Oh, he slapped somebody.
I saw him fight. His nickname is Hollywood. I forgot his fucking name, but he was in the. He was
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Hits hard as shit.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
I think Darren is his name.
Darren, yeah,
Darren.
yeah.
And he was sparring with Takaru, and they were and Darren's a big boy. He's
like
a
walking
thick,
at him
strong
like this with his
dude.
hands low.
Bro, and they're standing in the center of that ring and just scrapping. I didn't see, like, I think I heard about Takaru, like, KOing the guy with the long hair. Was that him?
And I was a young kid. He was like 18.
Okay, I didn't see that one. I saw him sparring with the guy with the long hair. But I heard that he KO'd somebody and they deleted the footage.
What the?
I did.
is that Boxing Works?
It's at Boxing Works. Because, some of the best Muay Thai guys are over there. So he's going to get some work in.
Holy shit!
But, okay, remember back in the day, TJ was training with Takaru, right?
Oh yeah.
And there was that video of TJ throwing a couple punches after the round because they were getting really, really heated. But every sparring footage I see of Takaru, he's just going hamburgers. He can't
Tucker,
stop
you
himself.
can't come to Beacon to train. No way.
You're doing sensitivity tests. Let's do 5%.
Yeah,
for you. Let's do it again.
No way.
What is a 5%? Only 100%.
Well, Shane, that's a really good Japanese accent.
Shane, Shane, you get the best taco today.
I am atomic bomb.
Yeah, that's the one. They're sparring after the bell. He's like throwing at him. And you can tell these guys are
This is such a Japanese production.
For reals. You know what's funny? Now that you see this footage, is the picture is now complete. Now you understand why their sparring was like that.
sure.
Because before it was TJ's the asshole.
Yeah.
And then you see this footage, it's like, oh.
Takes two to tango.
What do you think about Tawan Chai in Nori? I know Nori's a really, really good kickboxer.
Yep. Super tough. I think Tawan Chai is just a little bit sharper.
He can't be stopped right now.
Kickboxing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want some Muay Thai.
His composure's nuts.
He's ice cold, bro. He can see all.
And I think this is a changing of the guard. Super leg in the bill.
Really?
Oh.
He fought Nabil when he was super young, right?
Yeah.
He was like really, really young and green. But then super like though. I do think that I give experience a huge edge for fighting, right? And super like hasn't been on a down curve yet.
Oh.
He's still looking great.
He's still looking great. And I think that Superlek's intelligence is really good because he knows how to deal with Nabil, and he's already felt him once. So I might lean it towards Superlek on this one.
I agree. I think he likes the challenge of beating someone who's doing really well, who's tall, who has these different attributes. But it's so hard to bet against Superlek.
Yeah.
I think he's the best right now, pound for pound. I think
wow.
Oh.
Yeah, that Haggerty knockout. I was like, God damn.
how he catches the jab out of the air, pulls him into it. That's like movie stuff.
So
That
tricky.
doesn't work in a real fight. That stuff doesn't.
I didn't even see what knocked him down. I had to watch the replay. I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck
Yeah,
happened?
no one did. The commentators. Were like, I think DJ was the only one that was like, "Oh, elbow." Everyone else was like, "He fell." It's a headbutt. What happened?
He's in the void.
Yeah.
But dude, unfortunately we ran out of time. But dude, we loved having you here, man.
This was a lot of fun.
You got to come back and do more Asian
I
accents.
hate doing podcasts, but like I don't want this to be over. This is awesome.
No, you
He's got to come back.
You got to come back. You got to come back for sure. Tell us one more time about the summit, and then where else can we find you?
Become a MAGNVS member. Search in your app store. Go to magnus.io and use code Dark Horse. That'll get you 30% off, and then you'll get half off the entry price to the summit. That is May 16th through the 18th. It's going to be a great time. We're going to go around Philly. We're going to eat cheesesteaks. We're going to train. We're going to spar. It's going to be a good time.
Look, if you guys ever want to improve combat sports stuff, these type of seminars are the stuff that you should go to, right?
Yeah.
It's very eye-opening, and there's a lot of tools and tricks and bags that you don't get from like a regular training session.
Nope.
This is literally the elite coming together to give you guys knowledge. If you are serious about the sport, you have to find these things, because sometimes when you're like, even Luke, he said he's a small fish, he's a big fish in a small pond. There will be a cap for you eventually, and if you feel like that, go to these seminars.
And you create memories that last forever too, and
real.
connections. Like that's how we were just talking about. I met Nick at CSA years ago, and like those things are invaluable. So you meet friends, you make memories. Go for it.
We'll see you guys there.
Guys, give it up for Shane.
Come on.
Thank you, dude. Appreciate it.